CarPoolers, and welcome to a very special taster edition of CarPool. Now, this is just to give you some idea of what's coming up on the show in the next few weeks. I feel hugely honoured that a lot of these people have done the show and have been incredibly supportive towards me with what is essentially a narrow casting experiment. Can't really call it broadcasting, and it's an attempt to try and reach the audience directly through new technology. And up to now, I'm very proud to say it has actually worked. CarPool has been downloaded well over 1 million times on iTunes, plus a hell of a lot of people have watched it on other ways. The platform is constantly broadening, and I'm working towards delivering audio-only versions and high-definition versions, and all sorts of different versioning is coming up. But it's a step-by-step process, and because it's done on a micro budget and it is a micro show, those things take longer than I would love to have done all that right from the beginning. But I'm really glad I didn't, because I focused on just producing quality content.
And turning up at the office in the morning and there being a bank of TV cameras.
Wow.
And I had the worst hair ever. I hadn't washed my hair, and I had the worst outfit on ever. None of this stuff matters, but I remember thinking,
Yeah.
dear, I think I misjudged this slightly.
Yes.
And
when you wouldn't really expect it.
no, and it was quite a strange feeling, and I think both of us, it was a kind of cloudy day, I remember, and in the middle of the day, Brent said, "Do you want to go for a walk?" I was looking a bit frenzied, and we just left the building and just burst into tears, not for any other reason than just
Right, yeah.
all of this kind of overwhelming,
Yeah.
oh my goodness me, what's going on, this is
Yeah.
a bit scary and confusing, and I'm very tired and all this stuff. And we had a walk around the block and a bit of a sob, and came back and felt better.
Right.
It was a strange
Yeah.
day. It was a strange day.
Because what was it? Just remind me what it was valued at initially.
I can't remember the absolute numbers, but the initial float price was £5.35, and we quickly went back down to about £2.80, and then we went back down to about the worst of the internet bubble, 19p.
Did it go as low?
Yeah, it went as low as that. I think I remember saying to Brent, if it goes to 10p, I think we should both stand on our desks naked and start dancing. But luckily that didn't happen. But I can't remember what that valued the company up, close to £1 billion.
Yes. Which
on revenues of, shall we say, less than
Yes.
that was
it's breathtaking,
pretty
wasn't it?
unbelievable.
It was a very isolating experience anyway, because I wasn't really happy there, and I didn't know what I was doing there. So the whole idea of 3 years on your own came from that period of being in graduate school, which is what ended up being in Moon.
Being in the Moon, yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Wow, it is weird how those things.
Yeah, they're all.
I mean, it's very clever of you not to write a story about a guy who's in Nashville.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably what I'd have done. It's a really good film about a man who's on his own in Nashville for 3 years and nothing happens. Right. And where's the big? Well, he just sits around looking depressed.
Listening to country music
to
on the
country
radio.
music, even though he's not into music, he likes to play sport, but there's no one to play with.
Hey, it might work.
I think that's why you have produced a movie called Moon and I haven't. I think that sums it up.
Oh dear.
But that's but you did philosophy. Wow, that's
I did, yeah.
Really, wow.
Yeah, it was all mind-body stuff, and all to do with. Actually, I can roughly tell you the title of the thesis I was working on. It was how to something about imparting sort of ethical values and things to sentient machines. So you're the right person to talk to.
Wow.
So
well,
it was all about
in theory. I've been a sentient
Well, you're the right
machine.
person to talk at.
Yeah, talk at me.
Because Paramount, I think, is the most glamorous of the Hollywood studios. It retains more of the old Hollywood than any of the others. And I never, ever lost the thrill of driving through the Paramount gates.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And having one of the security guards touch his hat and say, "Morning, Mr. Stewart,"
Right.
as I went through.
Yes. Yeah.
And one of the thrills, of course, being a big studio like that, was that you never knew who you were going to see wandering around the lofts.
Yeah.
You'd run into all kinds of people.
Yes.
And of course, they were also shooting Cheers on the same lot.
Right.
One of the big thrills for me was discovering that on the set, we had 3 permanent big sound stages. And the one that had the bridge and 10 forward and the captain's ready room, and the observation lounge.
Right.
I discovered after a few months of working there was the stage on which they had filmed the whole of Rear Window, which was all filmed on the set. It was actually on that stage.
Oh my
Having
goodness.
found out that, I
Yeah.
then went around doing research into all the other stages.
Right.
And in fact made a proposal to Frank Mancuso, who was then lovely, delightful head of the studio, that it would be of interest, because there used to be studio tours and things,
Yeah.
to put a plate beside each soundstage entrance,
Yeah.
just listing the
What
movies
that
that had
have
been
been
filmed
shot
on
in
there.
that
Like,
studio.
for instance, all the Fred Astaire,
Wow.
Ginger Rogers movies were shot on stages 16, 17 and 18.
Wow.
And 16 was what we call Planet Hell. It's where they always built our alien landscapes.
right.
So it was always dust or smoke
Yeah,
or
yeah.
cold or water or
Yes.
ice or something like that.
But I always remember when I
I
very
didn't
first
know-
met you, I know you had worms.
I'm going to say we had an
Not-
impact on you, yeah.
Not personally, but
Yeah.
you had, didn't you have a wormery in your
Oh,
garden
yeah,
and stuff like that? So I knew about that. I
We had
remember.
a polytunnel, worms,
right,
we had
yeah.
lots of sort of growing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because we've always, even in all the military quarters around the world, we've grown things.
Right,
We put up
right.
polytunnels and greenhouses
Yeah.
and actually done our own sort of, we've done our own food side of life.
Right.
But I did another series called Geronimo with Fern Cotton, which is another engineering challenge
wow.
show. And I did all the sort of the stuff for the VE Day and VJ Day
Right.
and D-Day coverage. So I started doing more television.
Yeah.
And when you start doing more television, you get to the stage where you spend a lot of time resting, you know, sort of
Yes.
resting,
Oh, yeah.
unemployed.
Yeah.
Well, what I did was I was doing consultancy back in the industry for
Right.
that because that's what was making money.
Right.
I made no bloody money out of the television.
No, you can't make money in telly. It's a myth.
So I was doing that consultancy, and then I'm thinking, well, actually, we were in the wrong house. We just finished doing up our house in West Mulberry,
Right.
and we didn't have enough space.
Right.
We've always wanted a small holding. I like
Yeah.
my grub. You can tell.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Robert.
No, I
You have to agree already.
I mean, I'm appreciating your gastronomic.
Yeah, my stature. Cheers, mate.
Well, thanks for watching that. I'm so excited about what's happening with this show. Some fantastic people coming up, as you can see, and there's also some other fantastic people that I've booked and I haven't even recorded yet, and it's really exciting. All the people who've been on the show have been so supportive of doing it. You know, it would have clearly been completely impossible without them. Could have just been me sitting in the car on my own. Hello and welcome to CarPool. This week it's just me again. Anyway, I'm going to ask myself some really interesting questions. You know, wouldn't quite have had the same impact, but it's been amazing. I want to thank all you viewers who've downloaded the show for the last, I don't know how long, 9 months. It's still in its very early stage. It's all being run on a micro budget, semi-part-time. It's beginning to take over my life. I love doing it. It's the most fun I think I've ever had without having a load of rubber on or standing in a pile of scrap. You know, it has been an amazing privilege to do. But anyway, if you have been, seriously, thank you for watching.